I'm going to be teaching you how to do long division first. You put your divisor on the outside and your dividend on the inside of the dividing box. Okay, so first you have to find out how many times does x go into x to the fourth power. That would be x to the third power, okay? And then x to the third power times x would be x to the fourth. And then what you do here, you also have to do the 7. So it's x to the third plus times 7 would be plus 7x to the third. Okay, and you would have to cancel each other's out, these two outs, but they're the same, so they wouldn't cancel each other out. So you have to make this line all negative, or you have to change their signs, making this a negative and this positive into a negative as well. Okay, these two cancel each other out. 2x to the third power plus x 7 plus negative 7 to the third power is negative 5x to the third power. Okay, and then you just bring your whole equation down. And you repeat the process. How many times does x go into negative x to the third power? That would be a negative 5x squared. You would have to multiply negative 5x squared times 7 is times x is negative 5x to the third power. Negative 5x to the square plus times 7 is 35. Negative 35. 35x squared. Then again, you would have to change the signs, making these positive. Okay, and these two would cancel each other out. Okay, negative 14x squared plus 35x squared, that would give you x squared. And then you bring your whole equation down as well. (39x minus 70). Okay, and you would have to do the same thing. How many times does x go into 21x squared? And that would be 20 plus 21x. 21x times x would give you 21x squared. 21x times 7 would give you 147x. Okay, and then you remember to make the signs opposite. So this would make it into negative. So it was a positive and change to the negative. Okay, and these two cancel each other out. Okay, these two cancel each other out. And then you would have to add negative 147 plus 39 would be negative 108x. Then you bring the rest of your equation down. Okay, negative, how many times does x go into negative 108? And that would be 108 times. Negative 108 times. Okay, then x times negative 108 would be negative 108x. Okay, and then negative 100 negative 108 times 7 is negative, okay, negative 108 times 7 is negative 756. Okay, and remember to change the signs. Again, these two will cancel each other out. Okay, and then these two, you would have to add them. So it's positive 756 plus negative 70 would be 686. And that would be your remainder. So it's like a little R and then 686. And to just write the full equation down, it would be, you would take all of this and write it over here. But for the remainder, you would have to make it into a fraction, making the divisor the bottom. Okay, with synthetic, it's much simpler. The first thing you have to do is you have to find out what x equals. So you would have to add a 0 and then making x equals negative 7. Okay, and then you plot the negative 7. Okay, then you would have to bring all the coefficients down. So it would be 2, 1, 2, negative 14 plus 39, negative 70. Okay, and then you draw a line. Make sure the line is separated from your numbers. Okay, you bring down the first number. The first number is always going to be brought down. Okay, 1 times negative 7 is negative 7. You would have to add these two. Negative 7 plus 2 is negative 5. Okay, and then negative 5 times negative 7 is positive 35. That gives you a 21. Okay, and then a 21 times negative 7 is negative 147. And then negative 147 plus 39 is negative 108. Okay, and then you would have to multiply negative 108 times negative 7. That would give you a positive 756. 756 minus 70 is 686. Okay, and what you have to do is, this one doesn't get any because it's a remainder. This one also doesn't get one. The 21 would get an x. The negative 5 will get an x squared. And the 1 would get an x to the third power. And that would be your equation. This problem is not a factor because for it to be a factor, there would have to be no remainder, and there's a huge remainder here. So I'm going to be doing another problem, and I'm going to be using the synthetic method because I feel like that's much simpler and faster. For the synthetic problem, you have to find out what x is. So I am doing that so right at the moment. X equals 1. Okay, and then you would just put it here in the little box. Remember that you have to bring all the coefficients, only the coefficients. So it'll be a 1, a 2, a negative 14, positive 39, negative 70. Okay, and you remember how you make your little line, but not so close. Okay, and you bring down the 1, or the first number. 1 times 1 is 2. That's 1. 1 times 1 is 1. That would give you a 3. 3 times 1 is positive 3. Negative 14 plus 3, it would be negative 11. Negative 11 times negative 1 would be negative 11. Okay, it would be negative 11. And then you take that away, that would be positive 28. 28 times 1 would be positive 28. Okay, and this does not get an x. This does not get an x. This gets one x. This gets an x squared, and this would get an x to the third power. This is not a factor because there is a remainder left over. So, no factor, and this would be the answer.